And as we continue on at TV5 South 5, Washington at 1200. As we continue on here, going through number 1, number 2, number 3 lane, passing Washington Boulevard, and got a pursuit southbound through Washington. And almost crashed into that car right there as he made that interchange. I'm trying to talk with the LA County Sheriff's with it, stand by. And LA Sheriff's negative, they're calling for help. We got unmarked unit in pursuit, southbound 5, past Washington, red Mustang, armed suspect. I'm communicating with an LA County helicopter here to get them over here to help out, but we're continuing south. You can see how fast we're going through traffic here, just passing people. Oh, just kind of weaving right there, as you can see. Oh, man, that's the problem when they go on too fast. These guys start out driving their talent, and they get that little move going where they're going between going through the traffic, and then they weave around, and they lose the back end of that vehicle, and it starts weaving on them. And we're continuing on here as we're continuing here southbound, approaching the Rio Hondo River as we continue down here into Downey area. And we're passing the Rio Hondo River now, guys, passing Rio Hondo River. And as we work our way, yeah, they're back there trying to keep up with it. And what I'm doing, I'm being asked by the LA City and also county helicopters where we're at. So we're the only one on this right now, keeping track of it. The undercover cars is doing everything he can to stay up with this guy. And we're going to get the air units in here. Once you get the lights on from the air unit, that's going to help that guy on the ground. And as we continue here, we're coming up the Paramount here. Oh, man, I can't believe he's keeping control of this car at the speeds he's running as we continue south on the 5 freeway, coming up to Paramount. And as we come down here, actually, Lakewood Rosemead is one we're coming up on, and he just flying, man. And he looks like he might have blacked out there for a second. But as we continue here, now we're through Paramount Rosemead, and the next here will be the 605 freeway as we work our way down here, continuing on. Excess of 100 miles an hour here, using all lanes as we work our way along. It'll be a 605 interchange coming up here in a second. TV5 is approaching 605 at 1200 South 5. And as we continue on here, just using all lanes. And like I said, I'm trying to coordinate with the LA County. At 21 TV5, we're just coming up on the 605 here. It looks like we might be taking south 605. Stand by. And he weaved out, and we're committed south 5 through the 605. And negative, no police ships overhead, just 2 undercovers following. Okay, I'm holding 13. It's going to be a crash up here because it's going to. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm trying to listen to the helicopters behind me coming in. We're coming into an area of the 5 freeway that's construction, and it's going to make a little weave up here. And if he's at this speed, it's going to be tough for him to make that move. I mean, even at freeway speeds, it is tough to stay on that turn. But we'll see what happens when he gets down here. It's coming up here now as he weaves over to the right shoulder, passing traffic. Coming down into the Orange County area here. We'll be in Orange County here in another couple ramps. But it looks like he's slowing down. Oh, he's on brakes, getting off. Looks like, off the freeway, getting off the freeway. And as we continue. Is this Imperial? Okay, guys, he got off at Imperial westbound Imperial. Roger. I believe this is Telegraph here. He's going to pass it there. Yeah, I still got him. He's West Imperial, about 2 blocks west of the freeway, going slow. Okay, Micah, you guys stay with it. We're going to try to put the Pleiades ship on it here. Yeah, LAPD, I see you come. LAPD, when you get here, I'll hit him with a light. He's now turning back. We'll get the intersection here for you. Firestone. All right, we're westbound Firestone from Imperial. Coming up on the 605. Let me know when you get close there, LA. There's no law enforcement over it. Media only. Westbound Firestone coming up to the 605. All right, Sheriff's 20. He's coming up on the 605 here. Going to be passing underneath it here in a second. Stand by. Yeah, he outran everybody. He's in the left turn pocket, getting ready to turn southbound just prior to the 605. Red Mustang. Okay, just made a U-turn back eastbound. Eastbound Firestone, passing the Porsche dealer here. All right. And I can light him up for you if you want so you get him. He's a red Mustang coming back eastbound, coming up on the next intersection here. Yeah, that's him. Studebaker. Yeah. Yeah, he's on Studebaker now, southbound from Firestone. The sheriff's helicopter just got overhead. We had to direct him in on it. So now we got law enforcement aviation over the head. And they're now southbound Studebaker here from Firestone. So as we continue on here, he now has law enforcement with him. No ground units are here. So now this helicopter will be able to notify the agencies around and also the different departments as we're going through here to where this guy's at. Now, there's no ground units on him, and so this helicopter, the sheriff's helicopter that's overhead now, is going to go ahead and take charge of it and get everybody in. So good for them. He outran everybody on the ground and got down here and tried to just kind of drive slow and blend in, but we were here to be able to direct those media or the PD helicopters in. So here we go, still southbound Studebaker, and we'll see what the next intersection is he's coming up on. Coming up on Rosecrans here. So very. I did not. I was doing whatever I could to keep an eye on the car and then keep an eye on the helicopters coming in. So as we are making a turn here, so go ahead, Micah. Yeah. Yeah. This, all we know is it was undercover or unmarked vehicles from LAPD got in behind it. They said it was armed. Oh, man, almost got that car right there. It was an armed suspect in the car, high rate of speed. They were trying to get black and whites to get behind it. But apparently he saw them behind him and took off up there on Cesar Chavez and got on the 710, took Cesar Chavez all the way across to East LA, got on that southbound 710. And you saw it as we picked it up here, turning south on the 5 freeway. So right now it's an armed suspect only that we know right now. And I don't know the want, if there's wants on the vehicle itself, but right now he's got a laundry list of charges against him. Now you see the speed is picking back up as the LA Sheriff's helicopter here is calling the pursuit as we work our way back westbound here, and we're coming into, let's see, we'll get the intersections here as we come through. Next intersection, he's coming up on our green. Luckily, he's going to blast right through that, and that's Bellflower. He just went through. Now he's going to get into a tighter area here as we continue here on, I believe it's Rosecrans that we're on, through Bellflower. Very high rate of speed. He's going to make a little right or left-hand turn here, and we're going to get down into some more traffic ahead of him here as cross traffic, and that's the dangerous part of this, is when he's going these speeds on the surface streets, and then making these turns around here and then coming through the intersections. But coming up here on the turn and turning back to the north is Columbia Street is we're on now. And there's just happens to be some black and whites there on a traffic stop on Columbia. Now he's made it back into the res track here and working his way around now. Van Root is the street he's on now in this little residential area. I think he saw those black and whites and decided he didn't want to get anywhere near them. And now in the neighborhood, making another left-hand turn here. And I'm trying to listen to the L.A. Sheriff's helicopter make the call. But you see him fishtailing as he goes around those corners. I mean, he's really staying with his car. So eventually the brakes and the tires are going to start getting overheated on this, and he's going to start losing traction and losing braking power. And he's on Shermaine coming up to Foster here. And we'll see what he does when he gets to this intersection on the brakes, making the right turn back eastbound. And that's Foster. This will take him back over here, I believe, to Washington is the street. I'm looking ahead here, but we'll keep an eye on it here and let the sheriffs make the call on it. But right now we have two helicopters now, one from LAPD and one from LA Sheriffs over this. And now we're continuing on here back to the north. Back. Yeah. Yeah, we're in Bellflower working our way north. On Bellflower, going north. Yeah, north, coming up north on Bellflower through that intersection, just blasted through. And this is taking us back up towards the 5 freeway. And so he's just going to work his way through traffic here. It's getting kind of tight. He's going to have to force his way through. Okay, here comes a black and white unit behind it, finally catching up. The first marked black and white we have with overhead. And continue on here as he northbound on Bellflower. And hold on one second. I need to let the air units know. You said that was Imperial and Rosecrans where the person got out. We made the U-turn by 605. Yeah. Okay. And sheriffs in L.A., he had a passenger bail out of the vehicle on Rosecrans just prior to the 605 when he made a U-turn. We'll try to get we'll get the description for you. Okay. We're still on Bellflower? What is this right here? This is Lakewood and Florence, okay. Okay, let's go. Yeah, that was Rosecrans. Yeah. I'm going to just pedal turn. Okay. Yeah, it kind of looks that way. He's the first time we've seen him get into a residential track and start doing the circle dance here, getting in the alleys, turning off his lights. But he's got two air units over the top of him. And okay, he turned back to the wester, and like I said, he's going to run for ground. And like I said, if we can keep an eye mark on those the tape where they dumped out all that information, all that stuff out of the car, I'll go ahead and relay that to them once this comes to an end, and they can go back and search the area because they could have thrown out weapons, and we don't want weapons laying on the street where somebody else could pick them up and harm themselves. But right now he's just doing the circle here through the area. We're just I'm going to say west of Paramount and south of Slauson, or actually Florence. So he's just in that neighborhood here. And as we work our way around, we're in the Bell Gardens Downey area here, just kind of working our way around. So I'm just going to kind of hold up here and just kind of watch him, because what they do is they start getting in these alleys, and he's going to bail out here just from our just watching these things. Yeah, right there. Car comes to an end. He's up under a tree. Oh, got an undercover car right behind him. That's great. And, yeah, so they've been – there you go. There you go. Good job, guys. Got him in the alley here, and he got one out there you see laying on his stomach in the street. And we're going to get over here to the little bit to the south to try to see the driver, if that is the driver. That could very well be the driver bail out and starting to run. But we'll just kind of keep an eye on it here until we get the code 4 from the folks on the ground here. But you see one undercover there. They were trying their best to stay up with us. The guys were doing everything they could to stay with it until they got air assets overhead. But luckily we were able to help out to get the sheriff's air unit on it. And so you see right here, we're in an alleyway just to the, I'm going to say, to the west of Paramount and to the south of Florence. So we'll get an exact address once we get this suspect in custody. But luckily this came to an end without a major accident. The way he was driving, the speeds he was driving, it just was a recipe for disaster. So yeah. Roger. And I'm listening to the sheriff's helicopter and the LAPD helicopter talking, and what they're saying is we're on that backside and it was blocked by that garage, that a male got out of the driver's seat in white T-shirt and went into those apartments just to the right screen right of that car, and they're kind of keeping an eye on that. So apparently, I guess the driver may have bailed out, and unless they had two people in here dressed exactly the same, I have to agree with you. You know, the description is exactly the same. We didn't see him make a stop and pick up a pedestrian anytime during this pursuit. So it's just unusual that you have people like that dressed the same. But you can see right there how he's he's taking him over there underneath the awning. So it's kind of hard for us to see. But they're also watching for that other guy that took off from the car in a white T-shirt, got into that apartment complex right there. So it's, you know, this thing, yeah. Yeah, okay, then that works out because one of the, Roger, and one of the LAPD helicopter told the sheriff's helicopter they saw him come out, and so they're going to start locking down this area here and start searching for that suspect that got out. So right now, trying to keep an ear on them. They're getting Downey Police Department in this as well, and also with the Sheriff's Department here, and a male heavyset wearing a white T-shirt. So as you said there, Micah, looking that he might have gone into the apartment right here to the right. We see there's the passenger laying down there. So right now, luckily they got the area very covered with the air units overhead, so they're not going to let him get out of the area, other just right up against that wall. But they saw him. We were blocked from it, but they were able to see it as well. So right now, Downey Police Department coming in to help. And okay, we're hearing two at gunpoint there, Colton. So let's look around a little bit. Okay, got the guy right there. Let's look, see if they got another one here. And they say okay, they got the guy in the white shirt. He's in the apartment complex there, listening to the LAPD helicopter talking to the sheriff's helicopter. Let me move Sky 5 around here. We're going to look down in that courtyard there, see if we can find it, and be able to get that driver and have a clean sweep here on everybody in this car. But wow, what a wild pursuit with the speeds here on the surface streets and on the freeway. 5's moving a little bit to the west. And we'll see right down here if he's down in this area. That's where they're concentrating their light at, and hopefully they have him. But yeah, I'm hearing them on the air saying they have two at gunpoint, and they do have the subject in the white shirt here pinned down. I'm going to have to turn around here and look. I've been on the monitor pretty much here watching. Let me turn around to get a little bearings here for you. We're just south of Florence and just west of, I believe it was Paramount. So yeah, Imperial is a little further north from here. So, and we'll try to find the other suspect here. Yeah. Yeah, yes. Yeah. I don't think we're a long ways from. That was right at the 605 freeway, right at the 605 freeway where that passenger got out. He made that U-turn, and we're probably, I'd say, a good 2 miles from the 605 freeway to the west. So I got a feeling that two people with red sweatshirts in here. It's just, 3 total, and yeah, he definitely got out and ran, as you show on the video from here. But right now, they got 2 here. They got the car, and that's a good thing here because we want to make sure that, I do at least want to make sure this guy stops before he hurts an innocent civilian. So we're going to try to reload this and figure out exactly where everything got dumped out, and I'll notify the sheriff's department down here to go back and check the area where you said you saw stuff come out of a window. But right now, we're looking down into this apartment complex. I'm trying to find the guy in the white shirt that they say they have in custody. But, this is a very fluid, dynamic thing. 5's going over top of 9 or 4. And you can see right here down in the alley. I'm trying to see if they have him in the alley here. But right now, I don't see it. Right above you. Ugh. All right. Yeah, we're doing our best to get it there, Nydia. Yeah, they're supposed to be in the apartment complex, and so we're trying to look here, trying to figure out where we're at as far as the location. Well, I'm parked right on top of NBC, so I'm kind of looking at the same place. Hey, can you find out where they threw the stuff out of the car? Firestone and Hawksby? That was Firestone and Hawksby. Hoxie. Okay, Hoxie, all right. Firestone and Hoxie. Okay, great. That was right. That was right where he made the U-turn at the 605, correct? Okay. All righty. And 4 parked out your left door here, high. And is that a sheriff's area unit that's still over the termination here? Police 16, TV5. Police 16, TV502. Hey, where this guy made the U-turn at Firestone and Hoxie, a suspect got out at that location and ran. He's dressed just like the one in the red shirt you have here. Also, as he went east on Firestone after that U-turn, there was a bunch of articles thrown out of the vehicle, out of the right side. All right. And for you folks still watching at KTLA.com, we're termination of a pursuit here of armed suspects out of LAPD. It came to an end here in Downey. And they got the 2 suspects in custody and the vehicle here. You see one of them there in a red sweatshirt. So it was a very wild pursuit. Excess of 100 miles an hour on the freeway. We were the only ones over it at the beginning. Ground units couldn't keep up with him due to his speeds, and we were able to direct the police helicopters in on it. And luckily, once the sheriff's helicopter got overhead, another LAPD helicopter came in as well, and finally he started circling the neighborhoods right here, and then came to a stop in the alley where he was taken into custody. Yeah, let's figure out where we're at right now. See ya. Right now we're just using the helicopter camera to figure out what streets we ended on. This was all over the place, so it was hard for us to keep up on it with the map. So we're trying to peek at the signs down here, then we'll just work our way in. Okay, that intersection was 5th and Downey, so come west of there. The intersection just to the east of it is 5th and Downey. We're going to work our way in. We'll get it on the map here. As you can hear me dealing with the desk to let them know where it's at, so we can get folks on the ground here to kind of peek at it and see what's going on. But you can see they still have the area lit up by the sheriff's department. And right now we'll kind of look here. In fact, I'm going to... Okay. 5 is going to pick up a right turn. I'm at 17. All right. How tall are you? All right. I'll look for you in the turn here. 7th and Downey. Yeah, it was Hoxie and Rose.